What is going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us once again on the Vanz Cliff channel, and I'm your host Ivan. And my passion is to spark interest in toy collecting by giving tips, smarter ways to collect through online video. And on this channel, I usually do talk about toys, action figures, Star Wars, Marvel. I do toy hunting, I do toy unboxing, and toy reviews. And if this is something that you enjoy, start now by subscribing to this channel and hitting the bell so you won't miss anything. So for today's episode of Who's That Fig, we're gonna look at the Star Wars Black Series Legacy Pack. So let's check it out. Big Bad Toy Store has a massive selection of toys like action figures, statues, and a lot of geek stuff. So make sure to buy your toys at Big Bad Toy Store. I put a link in the description down below, so go check them out. Alright, so looking at the box, we have the Star Wars logo here, Darth Vader, and a warning sign. We also have the 40th anniversary logo. We have Darth Vader with the X-Wing background and the vintage Kenner artwork, as well as the Kenner logo. The back of the box, we do have the Star Wars logo here, some introduction, the Kenner early bird kit artwork background. We also have all the figures lined up in the middle, as well as Darth Vader on the side. We all have the 40th anniversary figures to collect, some attention in different languages, and the Disney and Hasbro logo. This figure is in a carded original Kenner style display packaging, and starting from the bottom, you'll see a warning sign, Kenner logo, an image of Darth Vader. You'll also see a 40th anniversary logo as well as a Star Wars logo. At the back of the card, you'll see a Star Wars logo and the Star Wars Black Series logo, although it's not noticeable that much. You'll see all the 40th anniversary figures to collect, as well as them with the display stand in the background. You'll see an attention in different language and a Hasbro and a Disney logo. So out of the card, here's how the figure looks. And there's actually two versions of this figure. The early releases was a red eye variant, but the one that we're gonna be reviewing here is a black eye variant. So but I'm lucky to have both. Actually, I did send my red eye variant figure to AFA for grading, and I was very lucky to get a UP 9.0 for that specific figure. And if you haven't seen that, I actually put a link on top right of your screen, so feel free to check it out. This figure came with only one accessory, which is the lightsaber, and as you can see, the hilt is painted really nicely, and there's a silver and a black finish. That's a very good sculpt details right there as well. And the good thing about it is that they painted it so nicely that you can see all those details, and even the buttons are painted as well, right? And you can see there's also a hook where you can hang this onto the belt, all right? And here is the translucent red lightsaber. You can actually peg this. There's a peg hole and a peg, so you can attach and make the lightsaber into a whole lightsaber. Alright, so that's alright, so let's look into this figure. And the figure does stand 17.5 centimeters, and that's in inches, that's almost 7 inches. All right, and the helmet is, you can see that's a very nice sculpt in there, and it does have a glossy finish. And the face, the tusk, I'm not really sure what happened there, because as you can see, there's a paint in here, but there's no paint on the other side. So I'm not sure if it's just my figure or it goes for all of those figures, right? But that's a nicely sculpted helmet, I kind of wish there's an option for you to remove the helmet and you can see the burnt figure of Anakin Skywalker. That would be really cool. Right, so looking at the chest piece, you can see a silver and a black finish for the shoulder plates. That's nicely painted. The cloth is kind of stiff, to be honest, and the problem with the soft goods cape as well is that it's kind of long. So when I'm trying to pose this figure, it's stepping onto the soft goods and it doesn't look really nice. But the buttons there, as you can see, and the switches are painted really nicely. Wow, that's a very good sculpt detailed, and that looks really awesome. You can see the fabric is sculpted into the figure, onto the arms, and it is painted with the matte black, and then the gloves are sculpted really nicely as well, and you can see a glossy finish. Alright, so you can see on the legs the sculpted suit, really nice, as well as a glossy boots. Right, so overall this is a very good looking figure, nicely sculpted, nicely painted. Again, that is something that Hasbro is really good at when it comes to sculpt and paint apps, and this figure is a good example of it. Alright, so let's look at the articulation. The head, there's limited articulation in the head. As you can see, it does not look up that much, and definitely cannot look downwards that much as well. But there's no motion onto the head, so most likely we do have a swivel in a hinge joint onto the head. All right, as per the shoulders, that's a good range. All right, no issues with the shoulders, and of course it is connected by a hinge and a swivel joint. All right, so it does move forward. Okay, and it does have a full rotation as well. We do not have a bicep cut because we already have a swivel and hinge joint in the elbows. Okay, and that's a good range for a single joint. And we do have a horizontal hinge for both wrists. All right, horizontal hinge and a swivel. All right, so again, we do have a force choking hand, and this is definitely okay. If they did put a horizontal hinge for this hand, that's definitely okay. But for the lightsaber hand, for the gripping hand, I kind of wish they did a vertical hinge on this one. All right, so onto the torso section. Again, we don't have that much of emotion going on to the torso. I do think that they did put a swivel and a hinge. Oh no, a swivel joint onto the torso section, because the only thing that it can do is to swivel. All right. If they did put a ball joint here, you would see a side to side. You would see a motion onto the torso, onto the hips. But as you can see, the only thing that it can do is to swivel. All right, and this is the hook where you can put the lightsaber. And what I don't like with this is that this is too rubbery. All right, so if you put the lightsaber, all right, kind of it falls down real quick, right? So it's not sturdy. That's the thing. See, I can't even put this. It's just gonna fall because the hook that they put in is too rubbery, right? It's not sturdy enough to, but you can still hook this up. You need to exert an effort to just hook this up. There you go. It's not gonna look nice, as you can see. All right. I didn't like what they did there. And as for the leg articulation, we do have a tie cut. All right, for both legs, it can do a split. No, but it is better compared to other figures, right? It's almost a T-split. But I would understand this figure was released a long time ago, so a lot has changed. As you can see, most of the new figures can do a T-split already, but not all, right? And it can do front kick this much, and it can do kick backwards this much. So, and we do have a double hinge knees. And here's the thing about double hinges, the good thing about double hinges is that it gives you more range, all right? But the bad thing about it is that if you won't sculpt this nicely, if you won't design a double hinge nicely, just like this, look at the gap, all right? It's not that good, right? They could have at least put something in here to cover that gap, because that's the thing about double hinges. It gives you a very odd looking gap, especially if you won't cover it or design it nicely. All right, but Hasbro has been doing a good job with the recent figures. They are already covering the knees for the double hinge knees, and looking forward to other new figures to come, right? But on this figure, since this was released a long time ago, I would understand. See, that's the problem with double hinge knees, even the elbows. All right, and there's definitely an ankle rocker. That's a nice ankle rocker and a hinge. All right, so due to the design, there's definitely some articulation issues, but that's okay. It's not that much of a big issue, right? The important thing is that the shoulders are okay, the legs are okay, and it doesn't have any balancing issues as well. Overall, this is a really good figure, and I will actually give this an 8. All right, for aesthetics, I'll give this an 8.5. For articulation, I'll probably give this a 7. Alright, so overall this figure is an 8 for me. Alright, and again, this is a legacy pack, so definitely this will be a very good figure to collect. Especially if you're collecting the 40th anniversary figures, you should definitely get this one. So I think that's it, and I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or concern, make sure to leave a comment down below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you'll be notified with the future videos. Again, I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.